Hi, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading, and this is your muzzleloading news for August 2022. First up, I want to start off with kind of a hot topic with Blackhorn 209. I reported last month that Blackhorn 209 was arriving at retailer stores as well as being available online from Hodgdon. Early on in that reporting, I was able to find Blackhorn 209 at the original price, or the old price of $36.86, and some of you were as well here in the eastern United States at least. I want to say now it seems that Walmart has jacked up the price to match with Hodgdon's online price, and now we're seeing Blackhorn 209 8-ounce bottles like we reported on selling for $52 to $57 at Walmart stores here in the United States. It looks like Cabela's in some locations or Bass Pro Shops is still marketing and selling Blackhorn 209 at $65 a bottle for that same 8-ounce bottle. Really sorry to report that. I was really hoping that we'd see it continue to stay at the $36.86, but it looks like that might not be the case. Bottles are still arriving around the states here. Every bottle that I've had reported to me is still under lot 42. So I know some people out there are doing some testing with lot 42 to see about any velocity changes or anything. So keep a lookout on some of the muzzleloading forums for some of that information. In traditional muzzleloading news, last week I got back from the Gunmakers Fair at Kempton in Kempton, Pennsylvania, the successor to the Gunmakers Fair at Dixon's, and I cannot say how enthusiastic I am for traditional muzzleloading, especially in Pennsylvania. You guys out there love your muzzleloaders and you love talking about your muzzleloaders. It was incredible to see your passion firsthand and talk with a lot of you about your enthusiasm for muzzleloading. Just a really incredible experience, and I can't thank you enough. There are a lot of other events happening this fall, both in living history, contemporary accoutrements, competition, and just get together with your muzzleloader. We're trying to update ilovemuzzling.com as much as we can with these events. We'll have a few more from the East Coast that I picked up at the Gunmakers Fair at Kempton on the website here soon for you to check out. I was able to talk to some traditional muzzleloading manufacturers and suppliers at the Gunmakers Fair at Kempton. A lot of the similar people I talked to at the NMLRA June shoot last June, and it was nice to hear the same kind of talk of business echoed, of just an increase in business, people buying, everything related to muzzleloading, which was really nice to hear. Still seeing some wait times for your traditional muzzleloading supplies, especially kit muzzleloaders and the supplies that go with it. There are a little bit of wait time there, but you're supporting small independent businesses, which I think is really great to do. So even if it takes a couple more weeks than you thought it was, please keep your money in with some of these American companies. It helps promote everything about the community, and these people that run these businesses are giving that money back into the community by coming to these events and these shows, and it's become cyclical. We're keeping all of this going, passing money through the community. That everybody really cares about it, and I think that's really important as we continue into muzzleloading here. We saw Tennessee vote in their Game Commission or Department of Wildlife Commission to allow the Traditions Nitrofire and the Federal Fire Stick in the Tennessee muzzleloading season. They're doing this really kind of across the country here in many states. I think now they're up to just about half of the states here in the United States allowing the Federal Fire Stick ignition system in the Traditions Nitrofire now. They're changing the definition of a muzzleloader in their state rules to allow for the propellant or the charge to be loaded from the breech, allowing for that Federal Fire Stick. Now, they're not writing the Federal Fire Stick specifically into the rules or the legislation here, but they are changing it so that the propellant can be loaded from the breech, but they're still mandating that the projectile is loaded from the muzzle. So there's a lot of discussion about this online, and I think it's fair. This is kind of changing up how we look at muzzleloading, and for a lot of people out there, it doesn't feel like a muzzleloader, but at least at the state game level or game commission level, we're seeing them alter their definitions of a muzzleloader to allow this to come in. And interestingly enough, we're seeing Pennsylvania now considering this for their early muzzleloader season, not the late Flintlock only season. I want to clarify there that Pennsylvania is considering allowing the Federal Fire Stick and the Traditions Nitrofire in their early muzzleloader season, where they're now allowing, or have been allowing, modern muzzleloaders like an inline CVA or Traditions rifle or a night rifle in there. So it wouldn't be changing really much of the muzzleloader season. It would be changing that early muzzleloader season where they're already allowing modern propellants, modern rifles, and modern bullets. So that's something to keep aware of. If you're interested in how this plays out in Pennsylvania, I'll have some links at ilovemuzzleloading.com where you can make your voice heard. I'm not getting involved into whether it should be or should not be. I'm kind of leaving that to the folks in each of these states on how they want to go about it. Just providing some resources so that you can reach out and get involved with your legislation and your rule-making process. We feel a lot of times that these rules are made in a vacuum without kind of the community's involvement. So it's important for us to get involved regardless of how you feel about it. As we reported last month, the other black powder substitutes like Pyrodex and 777 are hitting distributors and store shelves. Not seeing too much of a price increase with 777 or Pyrodex at local, Walmarts or outdoor shops. Kind of staying true to what it was pre-2020 here, which is good to see. A lot of folks are getting ready and gearing up for their muzzleloader hunting seasons. It's really going to starting here in October. So we're really seeing now in August that people are going out and picking up their bullets and their powder and getting out to the range and testing it. I do want to say with the modern muzzleloading hunters, it's really nice to see people getting out and experimenting a lot this year. Seeing a lot more involvement with that on the forums and the various communities out there of people interested in testing powders and loads and making sure they're dialed in before they head out to the woods, which is always great to see. As we head into fall, the kind of living history muzzleloading is kind of ramping up here for me in Indiana. I want to say that I'll be at the CLA show, which probably as you're watching this is in about a week or coming right up. I'll also be at the first weekend of the NMLRA Fall National Championship, probably on Saturday there. The missus and I are looking at heading down to hang out and chat some. Also, the Colonial Market Days in Lebanon, Indiana. I'm looking forward to trying a day trip down there. That is the weekend after the NMLRA Fall Nationals here in September. There's also the Feast of the Hunter's Moon, Mississinawa 1812 coming up here in Indiana, as well as 5 medals at the Trace, which I'm excited to head out to and visit for the day on that Saturday. If you're interested in competition muzzleloading or interested in over-the-log shooting in southern Indiana, Fort Valonia Days and the West Hartley Memorial over-the-log shoot will be happening in late October. Be sure to check that out. I'm looking to be there and hang out with some fun over-the-log shooters. In modern muzzleloading news, we've kind of focused on that, but as we head into hunting season, that's a big aspect of muzzleloading news because we have manufacturers and things kind of coming on board and distributing products. Traditional muzzleloading kind of stays pretty even keel through the year. It obviously picks up with hunting season as well, but we don't see the big information come out of it necessarily that we do some of the major manufacturers. We saw this week some discussion with CVA and the Paramount line about Blackhorn 209. A lot of shooters are having trouble finding Blackhorn 209 and wanting to know about an alternative for their Paramount series muzzleloaders. And CVA has said, and CVA managers have said on their Facebook groups and the discussion pages, that the production of the CVA Paramounts this year was limited because of the limited access to Blackhorn 209, which is kind of stark to hear. I mean, that really shows you and shows us that there is an issue with getting Blackhorn 209 if CVA has designed the Paramount line around the Blackhorn 209 powder. If they're seeing that it's not becoming as available as they would like and they're trimming their numbers back, that really shows that we're not seeing as much of it as the market needs. Hopefully we see that change in the future. So if you're looking for a CVA Paramount this year, it's going to be easier to find it in 45 than it is to find it in 40 or 50. So hopefully this is just kind of a fluke year for that and we start to see production of the Paramounts, because interest in precision and long range, kind of the race car end of muzzleloading, is increasing as people want to try more and more new things. Hopefully we see production of Blackhorn pick up so we can see CVA picking up production with their Paramount lines as well. Apart from that, everything else, kind of manufacturer focus, apart from primers and caps, is staying pretty steady. Now, when it comes to primers and caps, I know I reported, I think in June or early July, that it was going to be hard to find caps and primers right now. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen some small releases of number 11 percussion caps, which has been great news. The bad news is these have dried up really quickly. Each one that I've watched come up on Midway, Natchez, or muzzleloaders.com have all dried up within about 8 to 10 hours. They're selling them by the thousand, and those still are going pretty quick. So keep an eye out. I'm trying to keep as many people informed as I can about when these caps come onto the market, but it's difficult to keep it in time. So check out some of my social media pages where I'm trying to keep folks informed about that. We are seeing a limited number of caps show up at Walmart stores here in the eastern United States. Primarily though, I'm seeing it in Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky, Ohio a little bit, but not seeing a whole lot of reports of it in many other states. So if you're seeing number 11 percussion caps in another state, please let me know. Really only seeing about 1,000 caps showing up at each store. Hopefully these caps, you know, maybe it's 1,000 a month. I'm hoping at the very least, if it's just that 1,000 for the entire hunting season, it's really not great. That really doesn't make me think that we're seeing a new supply of these caps coming onto the market. It makes me feel like, and this is just speculation here, I don't have any official word on it, but seeing that limited number of caps being released makes me think that this is old stock that's kind of being trickled out for the hunting season, and it's not necessarily new stock. Everything that I've looked at and all the people I've contacted have been unable to verify the manufacture date of the caps that are hitting store shelves. There's not really a date stamp on anything. So my guess is that this is some old stock that they're trickling out. It's kind of been saved back for the hunting seasons, because all of these major retailers, they have all their distribution stuff mapped out pretty early on. And as we head into August and the fall, that's when hunting season comes out. That's when we're seeing the substitutes, the other black powder bullets hit the store shelves. So I think it makes sense that we're seeing the number 11 percussion caps and some of the muzzleloading 209 primers pop up. But it's been kind of limited numbers showing up. So hopefully we see that continue. I hope that they're reporting in September that it's not a limited number and we're seeing more and more. But right now it looks like it's still pretty limited. So keep an eye out and fill out those back order or those in-stock notifications with your favorite retailers. It's going to be the best bet for you to find percussion caps and 209 primers for your muzzleloader. There's really not a whole lot else that we can do about that. I don't think calling CCI or Remington's really going to help much. At this point, we're kind of stuck with it, but you know, if you're out there and you see some caps, you know, try to reach out to your buddies, pick up some for them, and get those to the people that need them. It's really going to help us continue muzzleloading through the year. That's all I have for you this week with in regards to muzzleloading news. If you like the muzzleloading news stuff, I try to report on it as it happens at ilovemuzzleloading.com with some short articles and blog posts there. Kind of aggregate that stuff into the videos each month to discuss it. There's really not a lot of muzzleloading news to warrant it every week, but I really appreciate you all checking in and watching the videos. I hope that it helps you keep informed about the muzzleloading industry and the muzzleloading sport. I don't hit the nail on the head all the time. I'm really sorry about the percussion cap stuff. I was really surprised to see all the caps coming into market here about the week after that video went out. But like I said, we're seeing that kind of being a limited quantity. So hopefully that shifts and we start seeing more of this stuff on the store shelves. I hope it becomes increasingly more affordable here. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough patch for us going forward. So I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. Thank you so much for watching. And if there is a piece of muzzleloading news out there that I'm not reporting on and you want me to talk about, please reach out and let me know. I know right now that the Department of Interior is considering a lead ammunition ban for all the federal hunting ground, and I'm keeping a close eye on that. That has not really moved since June of this year, and I hope to not see it move any further. But you know, make sure you're calling your representatives and discussing that with them, at least at the federal level. You know, muzzleloading lead isn't a whole lot of lead to be dumping out there in that federal ground. I don't think it's having a big effect on anything. So please reach out to your representatives and discuss that with them. Voice your opinion on it. That's the only way we can let them know how we feel about it and how important that muzzleloading culture is to that. Without lead, it's going to be really hard to continue the muzzleloading hunting tradition. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I promise I'm going to report on that as it happens and as we see some more updates. So, but if there's something else out there that you'd like me to report on for muzzleloading news, please reach out. Shoot me an email at ilovemuzzleloading@gmail.com. I'm happy to put it on the roster here for us to discuss. With that, that's all I have for you this week. I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.